college football fans, and welcome to a Dabo Swinney's Empty Threats edition of the College Huddle. Do us a big favor, folks. Go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's grow our community. The College Huddle's 85 podcasts strong from coast to coast, people covering their favorite football teams. And this is kind of the mothership of that College Huddle right here on this YouTube channel. We need to build it up, get it bigger, and you're going to help us do that so that we can continue to bolster everybody else in the College Huddle as well, make this community as strong as we possibly can for each and every single one of those independent, fan-driven podcasts. Also, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. This one's going to get interesting. Dabo Swinney. Never been a Dabo hater. Clemson's not my particular school of choice that I root for, but taking all the bias out of it here on the College Huddle side of things for myself, Dabo's the kind of man that traditionally, I think morally I would like. If I was a player or if my son was good enough to play Division I college football, and Dabo Swinney was sitting in my living room trying to pursue his mother and I to encourage him to go to Clemson, South Carolina, I believe Dabo Swinney would probably be one of the coaches that I would be more willing to listen to than most. That's just me being completely honest with you based off the kind of person I am and based off the kind of person I think he is. So, that being said, it feels really out of character how he's been talking lately to the media, especially after this second loss to this season. Now, I preface this before we dive into any of his comments by saying, first, I'm going to defend the fan base in Clemson. So keep that in mind. I'm going to defend the fan base in Clemson. One of the things that I don't like coaches doing or fans doing for coaches or programs is making excuses for them when they underachieve. You see it all the time amongst fan bases when a team suffers a bad loss, and some of the fans will complain about the play calling or complain about the head coach or the whatever, and then immediately there'll be a section of the fan base that comes to their defense and says, "You're not a true fan if you want so and so fired," right? And those are the people that naively will defend somebody without understanding the ramifications of what could possibly be happening behind the scenes to destroy that program long term. So, I'm going to defend the Clemson fan base here. So keep that in mind. So let's dive into the recent comments that Dabo Swinney made. These are direct quotes. "Hey, listen, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way. First off, what makes you think, Dabo, that they can't continue winning without you? That they can't win more without you? Why is it that if you think by you exiting out of the program or sending you on your way, that all of a sudden the Clemson program is going to fall apart now? What makes you think that?" That's question number one I would have for you. "But I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I'm a man. I'm 55. I've got a long way to go. Y'all are going to have to deal with me for a while." That's a threat. That is a threat. Dabo just threatened the fan base. "I dare you to fire me. I dare you, Clemson fans, to try to get me fired." He just threatened the fan base. Now, before I get into the rest of his quote here, let's do a little reconnaissance. Let's do a little history build up here. What was Clemson before Dabo Swinney? Nothing. They'd won one national championship, I believe, before him, and they basically hadn't done anything for 30 years. Dabo Swinney, a little known wide receivers coach, gets the chance, and lo and behold, he builds them up, does some good job recruiting, and wins a couple national championships. But Dabo, out of all people, should know and understand that he is living in a what have you done for me lately society. How long does a coach get of a pass? How long of a pass does he get? How long of a free pass does a coach get after he wins a national championship? That's the $1 million question. And that question is different for every program, right? It's different for every program. How long do you think that leash is going to last for DeBoer in Tuscaloosa, Alabama? If he doesn't make the college football playoff this year and show some progression, it might be this year he gets the axe, right? So, high standard, incredibly high standard. It's been a while since Dabo's won a national championship, and the fan base is getting a little antsy with it. So, how long does that leash last for him? How long does that goodwill last for him? Well, it's not as long as he would like it to be, and a part of that is his own is his own fault. He set such a high standard at Clemson, being so successful that leash length it gets smaller and smaller as time goes on because of how successful he was. That's just the reality of it. And the fan base, and here's where I'm going to defend the fan base. Clemson fans should not apologize for that. Clemson fans should not sit here and say, "Oh man, we made Dabo feel bad because some of our fans are like, man, are really disappointed that we lost to Georgia Tech." You're darn right they're disappointed you lost to Georgia Tech. All the expectations for Dabo Swinney and this team this year were you are going to go and win a national championship. You've got a national championship roster. You have a Heisman candidate, a caliber quarterback, and you have gone out there and you have fallen on your face 2 out of the first 3 games, and it looks bad for you. Even if Clemson were to somehow win the ACC and backdoor their way into this college football playoff, I would say man to man, a lot of these Clemson fans would probably tell you, I don't have a whole lot of faith that Dabo Swinney and this coaching staff is going to take this roster and go out there and beat a Georgia, beat an LSU in a rematch, beat an Ohio State, beat a Penn State, beat an Oregon. Heck, beat a Texas with an Arch Manning quarterback who can't complete a forward pass. There is definitely some hesitation by this fan base on their confidence level in Dabo Swinney, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And so when you look at it, why should they apologize or feel bad for basically a coach that's saying lower your expectations? Lower your expectations. And if you don't, I might just go somewhere else. And spare me the, well, who would we get that's better argument? Don't you have to try? At some point, don't you have to ask the tough question? Is he no longer capable of leading this program? Oh, but look at how successful they've been in the ACC. Folks, that's like saying to the the 8th grade team, look at how successful you guys are against the 7th grade team in practice. Look at how successful our varsity program is against the JV in practice. Excuse me. It's the other varsity teams you need to worry about. The rest of the ACC is literally the JV programs. It's the SEC. It's the Big Ten. Those are the teams that are the measuring stick, Dabo, for your program. So you don't get to sit there and spit out, hey, look at how many conference championships we've won. That argument doesn't work when you're in the ACC. It just doesn't. Sorry. You don't get to do that after you have failed so bad in the postseason in recent years, which is the expectation. That's the measuring stick that you yourself have created with the success you have had in previous seasons in the postseason by winning multiple national championships. That's the reality of it. So don't get on the Clemson fans for being irritated and disappointed. That's not their fault. That's not their fault. He continues to say, I would just say, if you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last play and we're 1-2, you didn't believe in us anyways. So I don't matter. So it don't matter, Swinney said. You weren't all in anyway. So now hey, you fans who I'm threatening, you guys weren't all in on us anyway, so it's your fault. Maybe if you were all in, you would understand that this 1-2 start's not so bad. What? Excuse me? I'm sorry. I thought the only stat that mattered, Dabo Swinney, was the one that had W or L next to it. Not how it happened, but that it happened. That it happened. I got picked up for drinking and driving, but I only blew 0.1 over or 0.001 over what the legal limit is. So it really wasn't all that bad. You should be telling me how great I am that it wasn't worse than that. So I'm sorry. No, you broke the law. I'm sorry, Dabo. You lost. You lost to LSU, who might not be as good as we thought they were, based off of their recent play against Florida, and you lost to a Georgia Tech team who, quite frankly, if you watch the game, beating you up all up and down the field for the most part, man. So spare me the if you ain't with me, you're against me attitude that you're portraying here, Dabo. It's not going to work, bro. It's not going to work. All we've done is win. Well, you haven't this year. You haven't this year, buddy. You haven't in the postseason the last X amount of years. So no, all you've done is not win. All you've done is failed recently when it mattered the most. That's what the fans see. So, the gaslighting that he's doing here, the spin doctoring he's trying to put on these fan base on the fan base that's pushing him and giving him a little bit of pressure. It reeks of desperation. I want you to love me. I want you to want me. Well, we don't want you so bad when you're not reaching the standard that you yourself have set. So, excuse the fan base for being slightly irritated. We've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Congratulations for beating the JV team 8 out of 10 years. Congratulations. Is that not good? Not in the ACC, it's not. Sorry. I'm just asking. I just answered. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, being 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots. I've got a long memory. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. This was supposed to be the bounce back year. That's the reality. That's the truth. This was supposed to be the bounce back year. So you don't get to point to the future, Dabo. We'll be back. No, this year was supposed to be the we're back year. Remember? Wasn't it Dabo who said we're going to be the first 15-0 national championship team? Where's that? Where's that kind of talk at? Oh, it didn't happen. So when you don't reach those standards, when you don't reach those goals, and people say, "Hey, I thought you were supposed to be," you don't get to turn around and basically say you weren't cheering hard enough for us. You're not a part of this. You're not with us. It's incredibly disingenuous on his part. Incredibly disingenuous. And it's an empty threat. That's what it is. It's an empty threat. I'll just go somewhere else. Go. Do it. Prove it. Jump first. You talk Dabo talks such a big game about who he is. Oh, they pay players I'll never coach again. Still coaching. I hate the NIL. I'm going to have to start using it. Do it. Empty threats. And some in the fan base flat out just tired about it. They're just tired of it. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Let me know what you think about what I think down in the comments section below. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Root for your favorite team. Have a great weekend. We'll see you all back here on the College Huddle.